Let us discuss about the roofing terminologies. Pitch, slope, gradient, and degree of slope. The focus of our discussion will be based on the XY plane, or we may call it the coordinate plane. Look here, this is the coordinate plane. We have this axis, the vertical axis, famously known as the y-axis, and we know we have this horizontal axis, famously known as the x-axis. Now, suppose across this plane there is this line here named AB. It is a sloping line. Now, this portion from the origin to this point A across the vertical axis, we call it change in Y, or sometimes we call it vertical change. And this portion from the origin to this point B here, from here up to here, we call it change in X, or otherwise we may call it change in Y, horizontal change. Now, the ratio of the change in Y to change in X gives us the slope of this line. And the slope of this line defines the degree of slope of this line. And if we go to trigonometry, we would place a particular angle here. It could be maybe angle 10 or 30 or 20 or 40. And this angle would also define the slope of this line AB. Now, let us go to this portion where we have a triangular portion of a roof. If we remember in the previous activity, we said this is known as gable, the triangular portion of a roof. Normally, the gable of a roof defines the slope, the degree of slope of a roof. Now, suppose this sloping portion here, whereby this one is the rise, from here up to here is the run, and from here up to here, defined by this line here, is the span. Whereby this line and this line defines the hypotenuse rafter. Remember, rafters are pieces of timber that are used to construct roofs. So if you consider this angle here, the rise will be opposite to this angle, and the run will be adjacent to this angle. So if you consider this side, the rise and the run, it is opposite and adjacent, and the opposite and adjacent gives the tangent ratio. So you can see here, this slope, if you consider this half portion of this sloping portion of a roof, you can define this slope in terms of pitch, that is the ratio of rise to run. Rise to run, that is vertical change to horizontal change, or change in Y over change in X. Otherwise, you can define this slope by considering the tangents. You consider this angle and this side, which is the opposite. And then when you consider with this length from here up to here, which is the adjacent, then you get the tangent ratio, opposite over adjacent. Those are the three ways by which we can define the slope of this roof. In fact, we are talking of this sloping portion of the roof. We have two parts. We have this side and this side. Now, suppose this roof is taken and placed exactly on the XY plane. It will appear like this. This portion where we have the rise, the bottom of it will be placed exactly on the origin of this XY plane. So we will have two symmetrical parts, this side and this side, which are both right-angled triangles. All these are right-angled triangles. It means this angle here is 90 degrees. This is the rise and this is the run. The rise is equal to change in y, and it may also be equated to opposite if we consider this angle here. And the run is also change in x, which may also be equated to horizontal change. Now, let us see the different ways we can define the slope of this portion of the roof from A to B, here below. The tangent of theta, this angle here, defines the slope of this line. I mean this sloping portion of the roof AB. Now the tangent is opposite over adjacent. Otherwise, we may talk of slope or gradient. In coordinate geometry, slope or gradient is defined as change in y over change in x. Now, pitch, which is commonly used by architects and carpenters, also define slope of a roof. That pitch is equal to rise over run. The ratio of rise to run. Rise to run. Rise is this portion and run is this portion. So, based on the above explanations, we may come into a conclusion that tangent, the trigonometrical ratio, tangent of an angle, which is made by the hypotenuse rafter and the rafter, the horizontal rafter, defines a slope of a roof, but also the terminology that is commonly used in coordinate geometry, slope or gradient, which is change in y over change in x, also can be used to explain slope of a roof. And finally, pitch, rise, the ratio of rise to run, commonly used by carpenters or architects, also defines pitch. So tangent, slope or gradient, and pitch is one terminology that can interchangeably be used to define slope of a roof. Now, suppose the distance from here, the length from here up to here maybe is 8 units, and the height from here up to here is 4 units. So, the tangent of this angle here, which defines the slope of this roof, the slope of this roof or the gradient of this roof and the pitch will both be equal to the ratio 4 to 8, 4 over 8, meaning that if someone has to climb this roofing portion, the person will have to walk 8 units horizontally so that the person will have climbed 4 units vertically. Remember, slopes or degrees of slopes of roofs or pitch are necessary so that houses that are constructed will have a good look And also they will protect the building from maybe water leakage when there is rain and things of that sort. Thank you.